Fala pessoal, Adrianeiras aqui na área de novo e hoje a gente vai para mais um review trailer aqui, gameplay do Call of Duty Vanguard. Aí a gente vai acabar vendo a multiplayer do game hoje aqui em live ao vivo, que começa às 2 horas, então tem 2 minutinhos aí para iniciar o game. A gente acabou de configurar tudo aqui rapidão, tivemos alguns problemas técnicos, mas vamos para a live. Então aqui, como vocês podem ver, eu vou colocar a tela aí para vocês verem, ó, 60 segundos aí para abertura. Vamos estar acompanhando junto. Espero que dê tudo certo, que vocês possam acompanhar aí em livezinha, todo mundo junto, hein? Beleza, vamos lá. Vamos aguardar aí que já vai começar. Vamos lá, 60 segundos, hein? Lembrando que esse novo CoD ele chega a 5 de novembro, né? A gente tem uma expectativa aí pra a beta, né? Ser divulgado aí a data do beta pra gente poder jogar. Então acho que vai ser bem interessante o evento. Então vamos acompanhar aí junto. E aí eu vou dando uma comentada com os aspectos que eu achar mais importante aí. Acho que a livezinha tá bem configurada aí. Eu vou colocar... A hora que começar aqui, colocar pelo YouTube, né? Tem a Twitch aqui, os caras falando. Mas eu vou pôr pelo YouTube, que acho que é melhor, hein? Lembrando que quem ainda não for inscrito no canal, se inscreve aí, dá aquela força aqui no nosso canal aqui. Vou mostrar pra vocês. Enquanto não começa, ó, já estamos ao vivo aqui. Quem quiser dar uma força aí, ó, tem bastante conteúdo. Mas vamos ali pro que interessa. A estreia começará em breve. Deve estar para começar. Vamos ver se a gente atualizar a página aqui não dá um... Já não abre. Ó, acho que vai começar, hein? Começou. Bora. Vamos aí, vamos aí. Começar. Expectativa aí de uma gameplay insana aí do novo CoD. Espero que seja tudo isso que o pessoal tá prometendo. Lembrando que o novo Call of Duty, ele vai... Como diz, ele vai se passar num período anterior ao Cold War, né? Que é a Guerra Fria. Vai ser a Segunda Guerra Mundial. E tá pra começar aí o evento. Ainda tá nessa tela aqui. Já começa. Vamos aí. Bora. Começar, hein, pessoal. Vamos lá. Vamos aí. Começar, hein? Contagem regressiva na tela, hein? Bora aí. Ser da hora esse CoD, hein, velho? Vamos aguardar aí. Vamos aguardar. 13 segundos, 12, 11. Contagem de 10, hein? Vamos aí, vamos que vamos. Olha, é agora, hein? Começou, ó, trailer.
The time is finally here. Welcome to the multiplayer reveal for Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm Greg Reisdorf, the multiplayer creative director at Sledgehammer Games.
Diretor criativo do
we saw the rise
multiplayer.
of Special Forces team, and now we've had our first technical test of Vanguard out in the wild, the Champion Hill Alpha. Our team is hyper-focused on key data points coming out of that test, and thank you for all the valuable feedback. Today, we will show you our vision of the multiplayer experience for Call of Duty Vanguard.
Agora,
In
hein?
our last project, we brought the Brotherhood of World War II soldiers
Soldados
to
da
life
Segunda
in a
Guerra.
more traditional approach, which was a great experience. For Vanguard, we're taking liberties and risks to deliver something completely fresh, new, and fun. But first, let's watch the world premiere of Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer.
Vamos aí, hein? Então é agora, hein? Olha lá, o trailer do multiplayer.
Warriors, saboteurs, assassins. Their lives
Eita, cara com a espada.
by the right. Each one with an axe to grind. And when we turn them loose, you better believe they're coming out swinging.
Caraca, o cara usa baseball. Nossa, olha o carrinho em forma de tanque, velho. Vamos ver. Submetralhadora aparentemente vai ser o meta do jogo, né? Pelo que tá mostrando até agora. Lança-chamas? Não. Granadeiro. Nossa, aquela automática tinha da Segunda Guerra, essa porra aí. Era mó boa essa arma. Rifle de precisão. Beleza. Ali é aquelas bisnagas de vida que você regenera a vida. Vamos ver. 20 mapas. Bom, 20 mapas já começamos bem, hein? Vai ter bastante fase aí. Destruição tática, né? Então dá pra ver que quebra o vidro, quebra a parede. Personalização, então o mesmo armamento que tem no Warzone e que tem também no Modern Warfare. Ó, o lança-chamas. Deve ser algum perk de Juggernaut com lança-chamas. Interessante. De novembro é a estreia. Beleza. Ah, agora vai ter a gameplay, hein? Bora, hein? 10 de setembro, Open Beta. Pô, 10 de setembro tá aí, velho.
Such amazing work that the team's been able to do, and we're thrilled to have that trailer out in the wild. Our multiplayer team is putting players in the shoes of a globally diverse cast. We focused on Special Forces operators that are untraditional, gritty anti-heroes from every front of the war. We've also focused on our down-the-barrel experience to bring you brute force weaponry that devastates your
Armas de
enemies
força
and the world
bruta.
around you. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with some of my colleagues I haven't seen in over a year, and some folks that I've never met before in real life. Our conversations today will be broken down into 4 different sections. We're going to talk about our day 1 offering for multiplayer. We're going to go in-depth in the gameplay. We're going to talk to our art directors about Vanguard's unique look and take on World War II. We're going to talk to our narrative team about how they
vai conversar com o pessoal de todo o time responsável aqui pelo multiplayer do game. Então vamos ver.
Following the stream, we've invited some of your favorite creators to play Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer, so stick around, we're just getting started. Well, let's talk about some multiplayer.
Sounds good.
So we have 20 total maps in the game.
We do.
16 of them that are working with core, and they're
16 vão ser aquele famoso 6x6, né?
Front, Eastern Front, North Africa, as well as the
E os outros 4 vão ser acho que 2x2, se eu não me engano. Aí, ó, batalha de 4, 2 contra 2.
I do love how we have found this fresh approach to World War II. We really wanted this time to focus on a global warfare and variety of settings.
And when you think about the player experience too, let's say you finish a match on Gavutu and you just came from the Pacific Theater, and then the next map that loads up is Desert Siege, and now you're in North Africa. So you're just hopping all over the globe.
São várias partes do mundo, né? Segunda Guerra, né?
And starting today, you can preload for the beta.
Ah, já dá pra baixar a beta, hein?
That everybody can now experience, as well as 4 new maps.
Yeah, that's what I'm super excited about. It's Core MP for the first time, so it's Red Star,
Esse é do multiplayer.
Gavutu, and Eagle's Nest.
Esses são os mapas que vão ter.
All of those players in there.
And then we also have combat pacing. So you can now experience this huge range from tactical combat all the way up to blitz combat across those modes that are in the beta. It's such a
Já vai ter os novos modos aqui na beta, pelo que parece. Blitz e tático.
As well, because when you're playing blitz, it's just no holds barred, you're going.
Não tem barreiras no modo Blitz. Vamos ver o que é o modo Blitz.
It's a lower player count, so we're actually increasing the time to engagement in there, and every shot matters.
Então no tático é menos gente e mais tempo de jogo. Olha lá, combate pacing. Acho que são classes, né? Ah não, são jogos. Eles quiseram transformar todos os mapas em shipment, o que é interessante, porque a shipment é muito querida por todos os jogadores de Call of Duty atualmente. Por conta dela ser pequena, você tem um grande número de kills, você sempre tem um lado contra o outro, um objetivo no mapa curto. Novo modo de Vanguard, patrulha.
It's essentially the moving hard point, this moving around the map on this track. You're going and you're taking it, and as people play it more and more and discover new strategies around it, like there's play the patrol point, hold it down for your team. But that patrol point is moving no matter how many people from your team are on it. So if you're truly, playing as a team, you're going to have people behind the patrol point, in front of it, really locking down those lanes. That mode is bringing so much more than we've ever had, and you're also exploring the entire map.
É, como se fosse aquele zona de captura. Parece ser bem parecido, que aparecia uma área que você tem que controlar, é um headquarters, vai, dos outros Call of Duty. Não sei se vai mudar muito. Clãs estão vindo para o jogo. Isso já teve em outros Call of Duty, esse negócio de clã. Acho que todos têm até. Não é algo novo, como eles estão falando, né?
Think about what you just said about patrol too. Like if you played patrol with your clan, how much more effective you would be if everybody was coordinated.
Nossa, meu Deus. Uma informação assim super nova, né? Se jogar em pare, você tem mais chance de e eficiência de ganhar do que se não, né?
And you can be in a clan together cross-gen as well.
That's right.
So we have a huge commitment to our players around
Multi-gen, vamos lá.
cross-platform play where you can go and team up with really anybody who has the game.
It's exciting for me because now I can finally play with my cousin in Toronto who's a PC player and I'm going to play on my PS4 at home.
I really loved it as well because
O cara joga no PS4, velho. Você envergonha o mundo, velho. Com isso. Mínimo PS5, né, velho? Você tem que falar.
You can just be like, join my clan.
We're so excited to have Call of Duty Vanguard launch. The team has
Aí
done a
sacaneou,
phenomenal
né,
job.
velho?
I can't thank them enough for all of the effort they've put in. The most content day one. It's going to be great.
Tactical
So we're here to talk about
gameplay.
So this is reactive environments, movement and footsteps, create a class, weapons. It's all about creating a fun environment for the players to run around in. When we were thinking about it as a team, that feeling of pulling the trigger has to be awesome. And you need to be able to use it then for gameplay as well. It's all about that player creativity.
When you first shoot
Eles
something,
melhoraram aí a...
now you start becoming a little more
Isso tem muito
creative.
no Modern Warfare, a sensibilidade de você dar o disparo, você sentir a vibração no controle, você sentir o disparo da arma, o recoil.
Try to give multiple options for how you want to do things, which really allows for a lot of freedom.
That's right. When you're taking cover behind something, they can also flush you out. You start seeing this stuff just start getting shredded.
Olha só, diferentes modos de você utilizar a arma, você viu?
Of sliding into cover and either mounting on the side, mounting on the top, blind firing over the top.
So blind fire, like let's just talk about that for a second because blind fire is an all new addition to Vanguard. It's kind of the hip fire.
Ah, hip fire, você pode atirar sem olhar.
You can ADS and go into mount. So when you're near something, you're going to go into mount every
Você
time
pode
you
pôr
go
a arma de lado, meio que olhando pouco e disparar.
The gun's going to come up, and now you're actually in this state where you know you can blind fire over it. You get a little peek over the piece of cover that you're on, and you're now able to move back and forth across that, fire. You get
Dá
the
uma
fire
olhadinha,
spread,
opa.
and then
Tem
once you
gente,
see
volta.
somebody coming, you can actually go right back into mount and transition between the two, and it's so fluid.
It just feels like it was always supposed to be there.
É interessante
Typical
isso.
environments are throughout the game. It's on every map, and it just
Os
changes
camperzinhos
the
vai
map
ser mais
design.
difícil de
That's right,
matar, né?
the state that the map starts at
Espero que as
is gonna
granadas
look
estejam muito
different
boas
than the
também.
state that it ends at.
É, o mapa
Everything
ele termina
really
diferente do que
changes,
começou.
especially in
Tudo
game modes
muda.
when you have Dom and Hardpoint. And even with this idea of combat pacing around those structures, like we have tactical combat pacing where now destruction just matters so much more when there's a lower player
A
count,
destruição
it's
é
so
mais
much more intimate.
importante.
And then you go into something like Blitz, which is just crazy amounts of players in there, and those
Esse
maps
modo Blitz são
completely
vários
change based on
jogadores,
how
cara.
that combat
São
pacing
muitos mesmo.
is flowing throughout every playlist that you're going into, and those modes even. We have a caliber system as well, which interacts with these destructive environments. And so you're able to now go caliber up or caliber down within each
Caramba,
weapon.
você pode aumentar ou diminuir o calibre. Quanto mais pesado o calibre, mais a aparência das paredes vai mudar. Nossa, é interessante
It's not
isso.
just visual either.
Um calibre de bala maior com maior explosão, você destrói mais o cenário.
Away from this concept
Balas
of
mais
rate of
finas,
fire and
que
damage,
geralmente tem
players
uma
control it.
We have creative
uma
classes in
cadência
game,
mais
and we're
alta,
building
destrói
on what
menos.
was done in Modern Warfare 2019.
You got your primary weapon, secondary weapon.
Tem a
3
primária, a
perks,
secundária,
3
3
and
perks, letal,
It's about
tático.
choices, and about the player having choices. Within create a class, there's so much going
Create
on
a
in
class.
there. We have the gunsmith system coming back.
Ó o
We have
armeiro.
the
Putz, o
caliber
armeiro é
system,
muito da hora. Olha,
types,
tem 10
attachments
espaços.
as well that you can put on the gun.
The coolest thing
Muito
about
bom.
10 attachments is that we were able to make it so that some of the attachments are much stronger than the other attachments.
É,
We have a lot
é o
more
meta,
options,
né?
Kind of taking our 30-ish guns and bringing it all
30
the
e
way up
poucas
to
armas.
100 because you can tailor them to whatever you want them to be.
And then it's still familiar with the perks, the 3 perk slots, and you can actually modify those and get some modifications around some of the other core gameplay pieces. And
Vamos
with these
ver.
weapons and with this caliber system, there's so much in there to be able to use. We have certain perks that are dedicated to it.
Yeah, you might choose an LMG.
Metralhadora leve e tentar combinar vantagens para perto. Ah, óbvio, né? Recarregamento rápido, mira rápida.
LMGs are bringing, or you might go the completely other way. Lean into our new mounted movement system, so you can.
Tá vendo?
slide
Você
around
mira
the map.
apoiado e depois
You
você
might
mira
have the
sem a
Piercing
arma.
Vision as one of your perks, your perk 2. That allows you to actually highlight people through walls that you've suppressed. Suppression is a new mechanic that slows people down.
And with that, like that is going to give us the most tactical experience you've ever had in Call of Duty.
Yeah, we're trying a lot of risky things, allowing players to tune things like damage or rate of fire, but we're committed to figuring out the right values there, making a balanced game.
We really want to push the envelope, and we really want to bring players a version of Call of Duty, a flavor of it that they haven't tried before.
It is truly the most immersive Call of Duty experience I've ever played. And we're in this together. We're in it with the community. We're there getting feedback from them on all of these elements. And and we want to make it the best.
É, fazer Call of Duty Segunda Guerra não tem erro, velho. Call of Duty surgiu com essa pegada, velho. Direção de arte e tecnologia. É, ficaram bem bonitos os gráficos, né?
On this project, I feel like the collaboration between creative direction, design, and art, there was a lot more cohesion. And so we've grown together in such a way where we can have these great conversations.
It's about stepping out of our comfort zone a little
Exactly.
bit. On the last project, we took on the brotherhood of the soldiers. It was a very traditional look at it. This game in Vanguard, it's a fresh look. We wanted something fresh, and we wanted to get into that anti-hero.
Chegar no anti-herói, velho.
This time around, we kind of dug deeper and we tried to
Se jogar a
understand what the
campanha
soldiers were going
e
through.
o
It
mal
changes the
vencer,
way
velho,
that
vai
they
ser
walk,
triste,
it changes
mano.
the way that they talk, even the way they would dress and how they would stand. It had to be somebody that was real and somebody that we felt that, like, I want to be that person. I want to play that person.
Esse negócio do mal vencer é o mesmo que você pegar o Black Ops 2, a parte que você é o Woods e você tem que dar uma bala na cabeça do Mason. Aí você estraga o jogo,
Hey, you know
velho.
what? I want to be that character because that character kind of feels like me, you know? And I think that's huge.
Tem que ser pegada a Price, mano. Herói de guerra, velho.
I just love that our game, we're taking a character-centric approach. You actually have a roster.
Yeah, you get to learn more about them.
Yeah, it makes me want to play every character.
And they all have different looks as well, that have their personalities in them.
The character team has done a lot of great work to recreate, you know, all the materials and things like that. I mean, they dress the mannequin as the exact character, they scan it there, and then they virtualize the authentic gearing.
The same thing happens within the maps as well.
Yeah.
And so we even have some maps that are actual spaces in the world.
É, tem mapas que são espaços reais do mundo. É, tem que ser, né?
We typically start with a block mesh of a map. And try to
Bloco
figure out how we
básico.
can get photogrammetry assets to match that block mesh. We tried
Isso é
to
da hora,
go
velho.
around on this one. And that would really capture the spatial relationships of the buildings and the road.
Isso é bem interessante aí deles fazerem essa recriação.
It also helps with the tone,
É bem
because
da hora.
when something feels more realistic, you take it more seriously. You know, and when you want to be immersed, you don't want to be pulled out by something that feels artificial.
And there's so many other things that we've done to this engine. Like we've done a lot with foliage that's in our Pacific maps.
Just speaking of simple things like foliage, the way that
Folhagem, a forma como a luz atinge as folhas. Olha isso. Olha a sombra. O sol.
We've been using some new software techniques to generate simulations for really windy
Simulando
situations
situação
where
de
the palm trees
vento.
are colliding with each other, and it really makes the map have this energy to it.
All of those atmospherics, like the Battle
Caraca,
of Berlin,
velho. Uma árvore batendo na
these
outra
maps have so
depois
much
que o
weather
vento
going on,
bate.
and it's been exceptional to see it in the game.
Neo-epic lenses is something we're looking at game-wide. We want to add that new, fresh,
Lente
badass on top of
neo-épica.
the epic setting.
And that's something that you developed.
Yeah, with the art team,
O cara desenvolveu a
talk about
técnica,
what's
hein?
the thing that's going to set us apart from the previous game that we made together.
Aí, ó.
And so we talked a lot about the contemporary lens. And that's where the whole neo aspect comes.
Neo.
Neo noir. It's a new
Neo-noir.
evolved version of film noir movies. So epic is its own type of movie.
Neo Epic.
We wanted to take cues from the great epics of the past and add a neo rebirth to it.
Ah, isso vai
A lot
ficar
of
da
that has
hora,
to do
velho.
with composition of the landscape, the types of
Você cria meio que um
environments
jogo
that
em cima de um
portray
filme, né?
palette,
Como se fosse um
color,
filme, uma realidade muito próxima.
The art team has done an amazing job. Just the entire team as a whole has done an amazing job making this look great.
With all the content that we had to do, we needed the rendering, we needed engineering, we needed the effects,
Tudo,
the
né?
lighting, the whole team. We needed studio in Melbourne to get it looking super awesome in a way that we can deliver the best CoD game we can do.
Melhor CoD possível. É isso aí, cara. Você tem que buscar sempre ser o melhor, velho. Forças especiais globais, vamos lá.
We have a cast of characters. Those characters also come over into multiplayer.
We took the personalities from our campaign and brought them to the wild, exaggerated, crazy world of MP.
Multiplayer.
We have 12 operators at launch.
12
6
operadores
in
no
beta, all
lançamento,
from
6 no
different walks of
beta.
life.
Cada um com um estilo diferente. Então no beta a gente joga com 6. Capitão Butcher do Call of Duty Vanguard, que está voltando, ele tem um papel muito maior agora. Para as forças especiais precisamos de um personagem que ligasse todos os outros. É. Nossa, a campanha do World War 2 é muito louca.
That's the whole notion of multiplayers, that this is Butcher forming these teams. You know, they do feel like ragtag people pulled from all over the world to form these awesome squads of elite soldiers.
So when you unlock one of these operators, you get that moment to learn more about their backstory.
Isso é da hora, eu curto muito isso.
I do. My favorite is for Solange, who is Dutch
Holandesa arubana.
and she was plucked from her everyday life and put into the war, and she did strategy. And I think what's interesting is with our characters, we also not only touch on people who fought on the front lines, we touch on people that fought at home or were taken and not primed for war. They were just normal people that wanted to live
Pessoas normais que foram pra guerra. Eles vão meio que idealizar o cidadão que acabou tendo que ir pra guerra, né? Provavelmente a campanha deve girar em torno disso.
Most of the time in multiplayer, you're selecting the character, you're in the game, you're in the action, running around.
We have a couple that are just like absolutely
Alguns são totalmente loucos, né? Paulina é bem sinistra.
Look into her character. It almost makes you like afraid of her.
It's about immersion, about putting players in there, and these stories are just fantastic.
We wanted to champion a lot of the forgotten stories of the war, and a lot of them are female-led stories.
A maioria é história de mulheres. Muitas mulheres tiveram um papel importante na guerra.
We created so much lore around them and their backstory and who they were as people, and also we wanted them to feel like distinct pieces on their own.
As you're randomly assigned an operator when you start the game, you can now use that operator as much as you want. And then they have operator progression, which is a brand new thing where
Progressão do operador.
You're getting cosmetic rewards. They have charms that are based on their
acessórios baseados em história, animações novas.
Finishing moves and everything else that really immerse you in that experience.
É bem parecido com os outros CoDs, né? É time A contra B. É, não tem tipo facção, sabe? Tipo Spetsnaz contra outro, que nem é no Modern Warfare. É time A contra B, porque você tem várias facções, cada um escolhe o personagem que quer.
So a lot of diversity in our characters, not just in their race, but in their appearance, their gender, and all of that is explored more in MP.
They're all fictional characters grounded in World War II, but they
são fictícios, mas são baseados em pessoas reais.
Another thing with campaign is the characters you are playing as. We don't want them to talk too much to sort of allow the player to live the fantasy.
Viver a fantasia, então queremos que eles falem muito. Ah, tá. Os personagens falam frases da campanha que remetem ao que eles vivenciaram ali quando você joga. Isso é muito legal também.
You've been able to bring all of this together into this story that is quite amazing.
A experiência no PC.
Hey everyone, my name is Marc-Alexandre Milo, the UI UX director at Binox. Today I'm here representing Binox, the lead PC developer for Call of Duty. And we are very excited to bring you Call of Duty Vanguard. Binox has put together a dedicated and passionate team to push the quality of the PC version.
A qualidade da versão no PC.
We want the game to be tailored for our PC community by supporting both the latest hardware technology and also optimizing for the best performance. With Call of Duty Vanguard, you will get the greatest features and improvements that we have built over the years, such as the uncapped frame rate, the ultra-wide and the multi-monitor support, and also a lot of settings to fully customize your experience throughout the game.
É meio roubado no PC, né?
We wanted our game to be even more accessible. We added options to reduce motion sickness, improve text readability, and we even added adaptive ease of use settings to fit your gameplay style. We
E
also
roubado no
did
PC.
a ton of work to improve input latency. By using a high-speed camera, combined with an Arduino board and an NVIDIA LDAT, it's a device that measures input to photon latency. We were able to identify opportunities to improve reaction time in terms of milliseconds. We have also reworked our auto-detect features. As you may know, we optimize all the graphic settings based on your hardware. But this time, you get to choose if you prefer to have the awesome visual experience or aim for the highest frame rates. Lastly, while waiting for your friend to jump into your party or during a round transition, we added a setting that reduces the brightness of your other monitors to allow multitasking without missing any of the action. We have so much more to talk about in the
É mais do PC, né? Pra gente não vai pegar muito que a gente vai jogar no Play 5, né? Battle.net.
To give you the latest intel on what's coming to Warzone this year.
Ó, Warzone, hein? Agora sim!
I'm Amos Hodge, Associate Creative Director at Raven Software. With the launch of Vanguard, we want to ensure that the feel and character of the game extends beyond the multiplayer experience and into Call of Duty
Warzone.
I am pleased to announce that there is a brand new Warzone map coming this year,
Novo
shortly
mapa,
after
hein?
the launch of Vanguard, and we are going to
Ó,
the Pacific, featuring an entirely new play space, complete with all new
Olha.
points of interest. Players will get to traverse the lush landscapes of the island and make their way through a
outro mapa do Warzone, velho.
locations while battling it out alongside friends and foes. Our goal was to create a fresh, new experience for Call of Duty
É
players.
tipo uma Rebirth.
Breaking out of the war-torn world of Verdansk to create an atmosphere that is vibrant, alive, and it really opens the doors to how we can craft the narratives and events. As far as visuals and technology, Warzone Pacific will share the same tech and
Warzone
engine as Call of
Pacific
Duty
é o nome.
Vanguard. This allows for seamless weapon integration and play balance, fully optimized crossplay,
Suporte cross-gen,
and
multiplataforma.
cross-gen support will be enabled so that you can play with your friends across different platforms and generations of consoles. But most importantly, we want to ensure that Warzone Pacific will be the best experience it can be. We will be launching with a multifaceted new anti-cheat system that will be
É um
rolled
sistema
out when the
anti-hack,
new
né?
experience goes live later this year. We're putting it through the final paces and testing.
É, porque no PC os caras só usam cheat, né? Infelizmente. Os caras que jogam no PC são sujos, velho. Além de já ter a vantagem de usar mais rapidamente uma sniper, velho.
Continuing to offer a massive calendar of free post-launch content featuring new modes, playlists, limited time events, and seasonal events, as well as community celebrations and much more. We look forward to playing with all of you later this year when the Pacific officially comes online.
Jogabilidade pré-alpha, velho. Será que vai dar uma data aí pra gente?
Sincerely appreciate you watching, but there's so much more for our fans to experience.
Aí é o
from the beta
encerramento.
through launch. The beta will be running over the next 2 weekends, and you can preload on PlayStation starting today.
Dá pra baixar o
For your
beta.
first look at live gameplay from Call of Duty Vanguard core multiplayer, tune in now to one of your favorite creators. From the entire development team around the world, thank you so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see you in the game.
Acabou? Beta começa no fim de semana. Primeiro no PlayStation. Pré-encomende ganhar acesso antecipado. O meu já encomendei. Battle of Champions, Patrulha, Baixa confirmada, Domination, que é o melhor modo, em minha opinião, mata-mata. Aí, ó, 5 de novembro, galera. Pre-order dessa arma aí que não parece tão legal. Acabou? Será que... eu acho que os streamers já vão poder jogar o jogo, né? Então, É o que eles mostraram aí, o multiplayer, então vocês podem ver que é isso, né? Tem vários modos e tudo mais, então a gente vai acompanhando junto. É o que eles mostraram aí, conforme lançar o beta, a gente vai jogar também, pessoal, fez uma live, né? Tem vários modos, mais, então a gente vai acompanhando junto. É o que eles mostraram aí, conforme lançar o beta, a gente vai jogar também. Então, muito obrigado a todos que acompanharam. Tem vários modos, então a gente vai acompanhando junto. É o que eles nosso review, conforme próximos passos aí é jogar aberto. Muito obrigado a todos depois vários modos. Então, obrigado a todos que participaram. Um forte abraço. É o que você não é inscrito no canal, se inscreva. Deixa seu jogar aberto. Muito obrigado a todos depois vários modos. Então, obrigado a todos.